Welcome back, everybody. The fake meat battle is heating up. Impossible Foods just landing a landmark deal. Aditi Roy joins us with the details. Aditi, what's the beef?
Hi there, Becky. Starbucks just announced that it's adding the Impossible Breakfast Sandwich to its menu. It's the first time the coffee giant is extending its plant-based menu into food, at least in U.S. stores, and it's a huge win for Impossible in its competition with Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat shares are pretty flat this morning, but in the green. Beyond and Impossible have been going head-to-head, nabbing restaurant chain partnerships, and earlier this year, that competition extended into breakfast. Beyond's breakfast products are already at Dunkin' Donuts, Carl's Jr., Hardee's, and Starbucks Canada stores. Impossible Foods just rolled out the Impossible Crust Sandwich nationwide last week at 7,500 Burger King stores. By adding Starbucks and its 15,000 U.S. cafes to its portfolio, Impossible is tripling the number of eateries carrying its breakfast products. While that's a hefty win for Impossible, it's also diluted by the fact that most eateries around the country are operating under capacity because of social distancing. You may also remember how last year Impossible faced supply issues. This time around, the company says it has a partnership with a big co-manufacturer and it has ample capacity to ramp up. Becky?
Hey, Aditi, I'm just thinking about the news that we've heard recently about Tyson and other of the chicken and the beef producers, how they've had trouble in some of their plants and actually had these coronavirus cases that have spread pretty rampantly. You don't hear that with any of these Beyond Meats or Impossible Burgers or anything. What is production like for these places? Is it because they're done differently and can socially distance more?
Yeah, they can, and they actually do make a point of that. I've actually been to an Impossible Foods factory, and it is very different from the pictures I've seen of a traditional meat packing place. There are actually very few humans in there. There's a lot of automation happening in there, and you just don't have as much contact, and people are definitely spaced out more, even naturally under normal circumstances, certainly not during a pandemic.
Also, just from the perspective of trying to be in retail and kind of wondering how things have changed as we've gone through social distancing and the closures of so many of these different places, how have they done just in terms of consumers going to the grocery store? And how do you think that will play out? Have the patterns changed during the lockdown, and do they anticipate they will change again once more of these stores open up, restaurants?
They certainly have. You know, during Beyond's last earnings call, CEO Ethan Brown guided to investors and warned them that the rollout to these partnerships with the restaurants, these restaurant chains, will be slowed down because of the pandemic, and they are going to be shifting some of their resources that went into food service into the retail sector. And last week, you know, they mentioned rolled out these value packs Beyond did, and in doing so, they actually shifted some of the capacity that had gone towards food service into retail. Every week we get these Nielsen numbers of grocery stores and what they're selling, and fresh alternative meat products are always at the top of the list. They're seeing about 200% increase in growth in grocery sales since the pandemic erupted. So there's definitely an opportunity there for these alternative protein companies.